Hello, everybody. My name is Karryshh, and welcome back to another recap video. This time it's a Korean horror movie I Can Only See. Now, I didn't get to watch the movie with English subtitles, so once again we will be focusing on my interpretation of this movie, which might be slightly different. It was an okay-ish watch, but watch the video till end and decide for yourself if you'd wanna watch it. On top of that, if you're new here, then make sure to subscribe and like this video. It's free for you and it helps me out a lot. With that said, let's dive into the video where I recap I Can Only See for you. So the movie begins with a woman who was running away from someone. She gets into a car when a man catches her from behind, but soon it was revealed that it's a shoot for a movie and nothing else. Then we meet with a director named Park Jong, who was talking to So-mi, who owns a big production company. So-mi has reviewed Park Jong's script for a movie, and she demanded a few corrections before she gives him a green light for the shoot and the budget. Park Jong leaves, but on his way, a woman bumps into him. She apologizes and runs away, but you must keep this woman in your memory. Now at home, Park Jong made some corrections in his script, but soon he falls asleep. Around midnight, something starts happening around Park Jong. He gets up and suddenly he sees a woman in his room. She disappeared, but the next second the woman scares him again, startling him. Scene goes on Min Jung, who works in a travel agency and she's also a producer. Now Min Jung gets a call from Park Jong, who wants her to be the producer of his movie, and Min Jung agrees. Min Jung quits her job and she goes straight to meet with Park Jong, who's still making edits in his script. Park Jong tells Min Jung what's the deal with So-mi and how yesterday he saw a ghost, and now Min Jung shuts his work and takes him to a shaman to figure out if something's wrong with Park Jong. The shaman observes Park Jong and reveals that something evil will interrupt the shooting of his movie. To prevent it from happening, the shaman chants some spell and makes Park Jong a production charm. Park Jong did not believe on stuff like this, but on Min Jung's command, he keeps the production charm in his purse. Back on So-mi, who's also a content creator, and she was making some videos of her eating ice cream lustfully. Here we also meet with Lee, her audio engineer, who now gets a call from Park Jong, who wants him to be his audio engineer in this movie. Then we meet with No-in, a cinematographer, who also gets a call from Park Jong. After this, we see an actor named Kim, and for him, the business was a little tight. He was struggling to land any jobs, and same thing was happening with an actress named Yuri, but both were hired by Park Jong. Now at night, Park Jong, Min Jung and Lee meets during dinner. Lee was watching So-mi's ice cream video, which Min Jung found disturbing. Then comes in No-in and Yuri, and Park Jong introduces everyone to everyone. They start their dinner, and in the end, Kim arrives, who was actually kinda famous since he has worked in other films before, and Yuri kinda adores him. No one knew that he's having a hard time in life, and now everyone plans how they're gonna shoot this movie. That night, Park Jong was making some final edits when he falls asleep, have a nightmare, gets bored, and puts on some corn for himself. Unfortunately, So-mi walked in on him. So-mi laughed and Park Jong was embarrassed, but then she gave him the green light to shoot the movie. Now the next day, the shooting begins and the actor and actress were Kim and Yuri. This was a romance movie and everyone was heading towards an abandoned hotel to film it. However, on their way, the group crosses paths with two men. They were creepy and they kept staring at the group after knowing that they're going at the hotel. Now the film crew can't stay in an abandoned place, so they stay at a hotel nearby. Yuri tries to befriend Kim but fails cause Kim was too prideful. Everyone settles into the hotel, takes bath, and we get to see Kim naked. Next day, the film crew goes to visit the abandoned place except Kim and Yuri, who stays behind at the hotel. Everybody else checks out the shooting location, but Park Jong feels a strange vibe from that place. After checking everything out, the filming crew calls in the cast and the shooting begins. Midway, Lee goes to pee, but when he relaxed and lets out a moan, that moan echoed eerily in the woods when it turned. He feels like someone is watching him and he runs away. After shoot, those strange men came to this abandoned place and they tell Yori and Kim that they should not stay near this place, and then the men leave. Ignoring these incidents, the crew complete their work, and meanwhile, those men burn some candles and incense inside the hotel. At night, when everyone falls asleep, Lee wakes up because he was hearing some thumps from the hallway as if someone is running and laughing outside. Then that someone starts knocking on the door as well, and Lee goes to check who it is, but obviously he finds nobody outside. It was then that someone came run up to him from the other side, but when he turns, no one was there, and then that woman's spirit scared Lee awake, meaning it was just a dream. Next day, the shooting resumes, but part way, Lee attends a woman's voice in his headset. Lee asks the spirit to reveal itself, but others find his words confusing. Lee then listens to the recording again, but there was no voice in it. Now the next scene was getting filmed inside the abandoned place in which Yori had Kim on her back when Kim gets hard. It was a very bad comedy, by the way, but this interrupts the shoot and director and producer yells at Kim for being incompetent. Then Park Jung and Min Jung sits down with Yori and Kim and asks if anyone has problem with what just happened, but it turns out that Yori was quite okay with what happened to her. The shooting resumes, but this time No-in sees something strange in his camera. The figure exists only on camera, but no one believes him. However, soon after, Kim sees that spirit and it scares him so much that he ends up passing out. After that, those strange men came there and they told the crew that they should stop their shooting and leave this unholy place. But then the men leave without answering any question. After this, Lee goes to washroom when someone enters the place and starts slamming the stall's door open one by one. Scared, Lee grabs his door and prays for the best when suddenly that evil spirit comes from above his stall and scared him to hell. He screams and fainted. Hearing Lee scream, everyone rushes into the bathroom and finds unconscious Lee. When Lee wakes up, he tells what happened to him, but other than Kim and No-in, no one believed him. Due to this commotion, Park Jung called it a day, and everyone returns to the hotel. Next day, Park Jung calls in a meeting, and now Kim, Lee, and No-in were refusing to return to that place, but Park Jung and Min Jung were trying to make them understand the fact that there are no ghosts. Somehow the two agrees the crew to film during the daytime and everyone returns for the shoot. When the shooting begins, there was a kiss scene when suddenly Kim once again saw that woman's spirit and he screamed and ran away. Following Kim, everyone screams and runs outside the hotel except Yori because she tripped. Outside, Kim tells everyone what he saw and now everyone concludes that they all are seeing the same woman's spirit. She is short and she wears a mask. Everyone refuses to go inside, but Park Jung decides that he will believe all this when he will see it through his own eyes. Now to prove everything to Park Jung, everyone goes back inside where Park Jung tries to communicate with the spirit but nothing happens. They go deep into the abandoned place trying to find something or someone when Lee feels something strange behind him. He turns and then he sees the spirit running towards their group. Lee scream and run, and hearing him scream and run, everyone scream and run. Park Jung shouts and tells everyone to stop, and he himself goes towards the direction the spirit was coming from. He asks if anyone is there, and then Park Jung notices a head hanging upside down from a hole in the ceiling. That head then turns 360 degrees, scaring the hell out of him. He turns slowly and tells everyone to run for their lives. The entire crew ran, But that spirit followed the crew by crawling on the ceiling. Everyone ran downstairs, but No In and Lee tripped and fainted. Carrying them, they all returned back to the hotel where late at night they sit down and talk about what their next move is going to be, because they can change their filming location midway of their shoot. No one had any good ideas, but in the end, they all decide to talk to the local police. Next day, Park Jang, Min Jung and Kim meets with an officer and asks him if there's a woman who might be squatting in that place, but the officer does not know about anything like that. However, the officer informs that the hotel owner left their daughter behind when they got bankrupt, and perhaps that daughter might be related to this, but the officer was not sure, and just to clear the air, the daughter was not involved into anything. The officer also tells them about two strange men who lives around that hotel for an unknown reason. Then arrives that shaman from the beginning, and now those three takes shaman to that place for investigation. But before entering the place, Park Jang keeps that protection charm in his pants. Now they all go right back where there was a hole in the ceiling, where the shaman chants a spell and does a little weird dance to call the spirit out, but it did not come. Shaman then tells them that there is no spirit in this place, but then Park Jang saw someone running on the other side of the hallway. When Park Jang tells this to Shaman, he gets scared, and everybody else basically had to drag him along to see what was down there. First, they didn't find much, but then Park Jang, Min Jung and Shaman gets a shock because the spirit appeared over Kim. She sat on his shoulders and then possessed him. Shaman starts chanting spells, but Kim's bones started cracking one by one, and then instead of getting rid of the actual existed spirit, Shaman ends up calling two more spirits. Scared, Shaman screamed and ran away, and as he leaves, the spirit leaves Kim's body too, and he fell unconscious. Carrying Kim, everyone goes outside and they told Shaman how incompetent he is. The shaman says the place is cursed and they should move their filming location right this instant, and then he ran home. Now back at hotel, Lee and No In were packing their bags because they were done with his ghost shit and they were leaving. Yori was trying to stop him, but it was no use. After packing their stuff, they get to a bus stop, but the bus doesn't arrive for a really long time. Soon Shaman arrived there as well, and he was leaving too. But when they asked the locals, it was revealed that the bus is gonna come late at night. Then after Shaman, Park Jang, Min Jung and Kim arrives there, and when they find their crew at the bus stop, they obviously scold them for leaving. Now since the bus wasn't coming anytime soon, they all ended up sitting for a meeting, which included that shaman. Everyone was saying only one thing, that they won't go back to that place until it's haunted. But Park Jang didn't want to give up, and there was a problem too. No In accidentally dropped their memory card in that place, and without it, the movie's gone. Now to find the memory card, Park Jang alone goes back to that place. At night, Park Jang reaches there and he searches that place here and there when he sees that spirit outside in the yard, and the spirit beckoned him outside. Without fearing the spirit, Park Jang goes down, but when he gets there, the spirit was no longer there. Instead, the spirit was in the room where Park Jang came from. He runs back towards the room, but on his way, he spots the spirit in the hallway. Park Jang now follows that spirit, and meanwhile, everyone in Park Jang's crew were carelessly having dinner. This upsets Min Jung as she scolds everyone before leaving to find Park Jang herself. Now further, Park Jang enters the room after that spirit, where he finds those two strange men praying, surrounded by candles and incense. Park Jang now asks those two about their identity and if their intentions were bad, but one of the men tells him that they're praying, and then they resume their prayers. Then luckily, Park Jang spots his memory card in that room, and he swiftly picked it up. He was then on his way back when one of the men stopped him and told him in a really creepy way that they're praying because she is sad. It means that these two strange men are not actually doing something bad. They're just aware that there's a spirit in this place, and for the spirit's sake, the men come here to pray. However, those men then screamed and ran away because that spirit appeared behind Park Jong. The spirit scared him, but when Park Jong tried to run away, he couldn't because the spirit ends up cornering him. He prayed for his life, but now the spirit removed her mask. Her lips were sealed with duct tape, and when she removed it, Park Jong smelled a really pungent odor that was coming from the spirit's mouth. The spirit laughed and Park Jong ran away. He ran until he reaches a staircase where he has a vision in which he gets a flashback from the time when he was bumped into by the woman we saw in the beginning. After this, an invisible force pushes Park Jong downstairs and he fell directly into the basement. When he woke up, he flinched because there was a really bad smell there. Park Jong checks around and then he saw the spirit who was pointing at something before it disappears. Park Jong goes to check it out and he was horrified to find the dead body of that masked woman. Seeing that, Park Jong ran away and Min Jung comes just in time. Next day, Park Jong and Min Jung again meets with the officer who has dealt with that dead body. She was cremated and her family was informed as well. After everything was said and done, the entire crew returned to the director and producer and everyone was ready to shoot again. Anyway, the crew ends up finishing their movie that day, and in the end, the film crew takes a group photo, but in that photo, the woman also appears. But who is this woman, you may ask? Because now we're finally gonna find this out. Actually, you see, the woman was named Meena, who used to work in Somi's production company as a photographer. Her job was to take pictures of the filming locations for the director before the actual shoot begins. Scene goes back in the past and we find out that Meena was given the duty to do the photo shoot of this abandoned place and she was talking to Min Jung if she would go with her, but Min Jung denied and the reason was weirdly strange. Meena's breath was really bad and no one could stand it. It was the reason Meena used to wear masks. After Min Jung, Meena asked No In, Kim and Lee, but everyone flinched after smelling that rotting smell. This breaks Meena's heart and every day someone made fun of her. She was depressed and that was about the time Meena bumped into Park Jong. Then one day, Meena came to this abandoned place and she taped her mouth and fell down a flight of stairs to commit unalivement. She fell into the basement and she was still alive, and that was why she crawled deep into that place so no one can ever smell her breath. Then she died, but her spirit kept on lingering without peace. Obviously, the spirit wanted her body to be found, and that was why when the filming crew arrived at that place, she started haunting them until Park Jong found her body. Now everyone in the film crew knows what happened and everyone prayed for Meena's spirit in the end. When everything turns out fine, Park Jong and Min Jung go for a walk. But when they were talking, suddenly Meena's spirit came near Park Jong. However, this time Park Jong was the only one who could see the spirit. And Min Jung then concludes that maybe Meena is liking Park Jong and she wants to stay with him. In the last scene, Park Jong and Min Jung once again visits the shaman's place, where the shaman talks to the spirit, and then Min Jung and Park Jong runs away, leaving the spirit to linger with the shaman for as long as she wants. And this is where the movie ends. So this was the recap video on the movie I Can Only See, and I hope you have liked it. If you have, then please subscribe the channel, like this video. I really need your support to grow further. If you want to watch this movie, there's a link to my Telegram channel in the description box. If that link does not work, just go to my Telegram and put my channel's name in the search bar. Now what I do, I will provide this movie on a different Telegram channel and delete it after 7 days for obvious reason, or maybe I'll just provide a link to this movie. So if you're watching this video after 7 days, you might have missed this one. If you don't want to miss more, make sure to subscribe and like this video. I'm mostly active on Insta, so you can follow me there as well and look into my other channel where we discuss about the mysteries of the world. All the links are in the description box. For now, I'll see you all in the next one. Till then, stay awake, because they always see you.